I thought I'd be at. The only reason why I haven't achieved what I set out to achieve is because I've been denied fights, you know.
He doesn't want to be that individual that says, I woulda, I shoulda, I coulda. We're fighting. You're a fighter. You coming to the sport to fight. So
Anthony Yarde, I think he's like ranked number 4, number 5. He was a great fighter, a veteran. He's fought a lot of great fighters as well. And, you know, that's where we're going. Now we're just picking off the great fighters on the side.
David Benavidez is number 1 in boxing to me in terms of fighting spirit.
That's what we're here for, to give the fans what they want to see.
Brick versus brick.
David Benavidez is making it clear what he wants to do as the fight on November 22nd gets closer. He has been very clear and loud in telling Anthony Yarde that this fight will end quickly. The 27 and 3 outsiders are going to get a harsh reality check from him. He's shown that he's in great shape and ready for war, not just a boxing match.
You know, I'm not scared of any fight. You know, I'm not scared if a fighter comes ready. I'm not scared if a fighter has power or if you have good IQ. You know, that's why I am who I am. That's why I'm David Benavidez. That's why I'm the monster. Because, you know, I don't run from nobody. You know, if anything, I welcome big fights. I welcome wars. And, you know, however he wants to do it, let's do it. You know, I'm ready for whatever comes my way.
This is more than just a guess. It's a direct threat. The Mexican monster is ready to back up everything you say. The whole fight started when the 3,000 to division winner, David Benavidez, gave his now famous warning that this wasn't an attack for no reason. It was a straight answer. Benavidez said the fight would end in a cruel, punishing, and final way. He said in public, "I accept and I invite war." The fighting world was shocked by this one quote.
There's definitely stuff that you have to worry about. You know, he has good counter punches. He has a good left hook. It looks like he has power. So, you know, I'm going to be who I always am. You know, I always have good defense. I always have a good jab. I always have, you know, good flurries. I can counter punch as well. So this is stuff I know how to do really well. You know what I mean? So I just got to do what I'm doing, what I've already know how to do, but, you know, just do it better.
It was not like the usual hype before a fight. It was a cold, planned acceptance of what was going to happen. When Benavidez talked to Fight Hype, he made it clear that he had been training for 4.5 months, seeing Yarde as the most difficult opponent of his career. He said that Yarde would learn a hard lesson in the ring when the fight night came around.
I'm fighting Anthony Yarde November 22nd in Riyadh. You know, he's a great fighter. I've watched him a lot. I have a lot of respect for him. He's a tough veteran. He's fought against a lot of great fighters. I feel like this is the perfect opponent for me. By looking at his resume, you know, he's solid. He's solid on paper. But we're just gonna have to go in there and see what type of fighter he is and what type of spirit he has.
This is a real fight for David Benavidez. It's a real fight for Anthony Yarde. But one thing about David Benavidez, he was sparring and holding his own against elite 160, 168, 175 pounders when he was a teenager, 13, 14, 15. Who does that sound like? Sounds like Moses Atama right now. Same thing, was just a boxing prodigy. Didn't stay as an amateur long because of his talent. That being said, Yarde started boxing late, but he is a real threat. Who you got winning? I got Benavidez winning. I just think Benavidez's mentality is different. I think Yarde, strong. He's not going to want to lose.
What could possibly make an unbeaten winner give such a warning? The answer lies in a charge that set off the fire camp of Anthony Yarde, especially his teacher. In public, they said that Benavidez had missed him. People thought that Benavidez was so focused on his future, on the big fights that would define his reputation against the winners of Beterbiev and Bivol, that he was only seeing Yarde as a way to get to his next goal.
I like David Benavidez, but him fighting Yarde, you know, I got Benavidez winning, but I think if Yarde attacks Benavidez's body, you know, his body is kind of soft. He may knock Benavidez out with a body shot because Yarde can crack.
Never said no to an opponent, fought the best people, always given a good account of himself, been better every time, and then goes out there and then does it.
I will say that this is the toughest fight of David's career. Anthony Yarde has been at 175 for a long time. You can see his body. supercut, a lot of power, and a very dangerous fighter. It's going to bring the best out of David.
It didn't work the way this claim was meant to. The direct and angry response that Benavidez gave was an invitation to war. He promised that he would not forget about anyone and that Yarde would now pay for that proposal.
Well, I think it's a dangerous fight. I think it's a great fight. It's a tough fight. We never underestimate nobody, you know. I think I want to say that this is the toughest fight in our careers. You know, we never fought nobody like Anthony Yarde. We're going to be ready. We're going to train hard, and we're going to come at our best in order to win, look impressive, and keep...
All right, shaking up Lemieux. Back comes Lemieux. All right, and down goes Lemieux.
But then the story turned upside down. In a shocking turn of events, Anthony Yarde, the man who was said to be being ignored, gave his own scary warning. This wasn't the talk of a scared outsider. It was the cold calm of someone ready to fight.
This came across your table, you and your team. Why did you say yes straight away? Why was there no hesitation to take it?
Because of, again, something Benavidez can probably see in me. I'm just real. Why am I in boxing if I'm not willing to fight the best? Again, I had 12 amateur fights. I've still taken on all challenges, you know, and it's just in me. So I'm the kind of person, if this fight got offered to me and I didn't take it, I'll question myself. Say no box is perfect, no box is without flaws. With my power, again, if I land on him, you know, at the wrong time, he's gone. Same thing for him with me. You know, he's a big volume puncher, great pressure, etc. But styles make fights.
Yarde's answer has become the main source of stress in the whole situation. What he said:
with my power, again, if I land on him, you know, at the wrong time, he's gone.
This one sentence changed the whole story. Yarde doesn't plan to stay alive. He plans to kill.
Russia was an experience we learned from. And he came back, fought the fight of the year against Benavidez. These guys have 300-400 amateur fights. But each time, we've got better. Each time we've gained experience, and I just feel the time is ripe now. Experience has been banked, and yeah, it's going to be a great one.
But I just think David Benavidez has just got something special about him. I will say though that David Morrell did catch Benavidez, because Benavidez will get a little over anxious, aggressive, and sometimes be a little bit will neglect his defense. And if he does that and gets hit with a big hook, a big shot like what Morrell caught him with, by the much bigger Yarde, you know, hey, Yarde could drop him, could really hurt him. But that being said, I just think David Benavidez has just got something special about him, and I think he's gonna clip Yarde. You know, does he beat him within 5-6 rounds? I don't know, but I think just battle of attrition between round 8, 9, and 10. I think Benavidez could get a stoppage if he does not get reckless and get caught by Yarde.
Using Benavidez's perfect 30-0 record against him, he did a great job of making it look like he was too sure of himself instead of perfect. Yarde's case is easy to understand. A man who has never lost or been dragged into the darkest, deepest seas doesn't really know what to do, and he's in real danger.
I told you, man. Jackie Chan with the jet knee, we do it, man. No. Okay, go ahead.
Beterbiev. That was the one I was like, that's like 2 car crashes, right? And then the next one was Bivol. Obviously, it isn't those guys as well. So is there a disappointment that you ain't fighting either of those guys?
Yeah, it's a little bit of a disappointment that I'm not fighting those guys. But right now, like I said, it's just patience. I honestly, I respect the fact that Bivol's granting Beterbiev the 3rd fight, you know, because it's really honorable. Beterbiev gave him the first chance, and now he gave him, and they gave him the rematch. So I think, you know, I think that's an honorable thing to do. But now it's just like, how long is that going to take? When is that going to happen?
Yarde is setting himself up to be that threat, to first real test that the monster will fail. This huge amount of faith isn't just hopeless optimism. Yarde is sure he has found the plan. He has looked over the tapes and found what he calls a critical flaw in the monster's armor. Yarde has brought up Benavidez's fight with David Morrell many times, a fight in which Benavidez was briefly knocked out.
As Benavidez corners Morrell.
was certainly tight. He looks like a 175 guy. You see the weigh-in with Vosdick. He is a 175 pounder that was killing himself to 168. I can't imagine what he's going to weigh in on fight.
Yarde shows how this is different from his own record. Even though he has lost, it wasn't terrible. Fiery fights with giants like Sergey Kovalev and Artur Beterbiev. Yarde has been through a lot. He's been hit by some of the world's most dangerous fighters and live.
Yeah, I mean, to be honest with you, I don't see fights like that, in my opinion. I only see fights risky if you don't take the necessary precautions to get ready for the fight. But me, I don't overlook anybody. I work extremely hard. I have like 4 months and a half working for this, training for this fight. Anthony Yarde is not necessarily the hardest fight out there for me, but I given him the respect like if he is. He's fought against, he's got stopped against Kovalev. He's got stopped against Artur Beterbiev. He's got a great performance, but he's still been stopped. You know what I mean?
He's making this fight seem like a match between a tough veteran and a new champion who hasn't been tried yet. Yarde thinks he is the more dangerous fighter because he has more experience. He only needs one clean shot to show it.
What do fighters do when they see each other for the first time? Is there like a sizing up, like a height? What do you do?
I think now at this moment, we're both at, we have basically veterans in the game. It's just another meeting, another encounter. It doesn't really mean nothing until we get in the ring. He looks like a good dude, looks like a nice guy. He's a great fighter in the ring, and I have a lot of respect for him.
A guy who sits in the pocket with him like that with fast hands, I think he might have some success early, Yarde, but Yarde has those big bulky muscles, and he just don't have a natural stamina or endurance to deal with a guy like David, who got supple long distance muscles. And David, man, is a mean, you know what? He got fighting spirit. You know what I mean?
From Benavidez's point of view, Yarde's side was partly right, which is ironic. He is looking past Anthony Yarde, but not in a rude way like they said. Yarde was planned from the start. He is an important step.
So is it a name you're chasing or the titles?
No, so to be honest with you, how I see it, at the end of the day, every name runs out. So what you're really chasing is just the titles. I'm really just chasing the titles, and I'm just really looking to beat whoever is the best in my division. Because like I said, people, once you beat them, you're always gonna need another person. You're gonna need another person, and I don't really feel like there's that one fighter I'm after. I just want to show my greatness and then just keep continuing to beat great fighters in the sport.
Benavidez's whole work is based on the idea of leaving a legacy. His goal is to be #1. And Yarde is just the person who is in his way. When asked how sad he was that the Beterbiev-Bivol fight didn't happen, Benavidez gave a shocking answer. He said that the delay was a good thing. He is only 28 years old, so time is his most powerful tool. He thinks that those champions will find it harder to beat him as time goes on because he will be stronger and have more knowledge.
By this time, I would have wanted, if I had the crystal ball like you said, I would have been unified world champion, but that hasn't happened yet. So that makes me even more motivated. It makes me work even harder because now I have a big goal and I haven't accomplished it. I've won world titles in 2 different weight classes, and I'm still chasing that.
He's using the Yarde fight as more practice, another chance to get better so that he can't be beat when the real crowning comes around.
You were hoping to get the winner of Beterbiev-Bivol 2. That fell through. How disappointing was it, and do you think you'll get him in the ring next year, one or both?
Yeah, it was a little disappointing, but honestly, I see things like in the longevity things, it's not really disappointing because it would be disappointing if I was just looking for a paycheck just to retire, but I'm not. You know what I mean? Every fight for me, I'm barely 28 years old, so I have a long time left. So the longer they take, the harder it's going to be for them. You know what I mean? I'm still in the prime of my career. I'm still hungry. I'm still itching for them big fights. You know what I mean? So
this desire to leave a memory is what makes Benavidez who he is. It's clear from what he said about the other sports.
First of all, David Benavidez deserves to be on the pound-for-pound list. David Benavidez is the best fighter I've ever coached against. He's the real deal. So I expect him to beat Yarde, but I expect this to be a tough fight. And one of the reasons why I expect it to be a tough fight is sometimes the remnants of your last fight carries over. Benavidez took some punishment versus Morrell. He was hurt a couple of times. If you watch that fight real good, Morrell took a couple of dirty shots after the bell, but he also hurt David a couple times with a couple of little right hooks in there.
He didn't laugh when asked about the fight between Jake Paul and Anthony Joshua. He thought Jake Paul was brave for taking the chance. He has respect for bravery. He looks up to athletes who are brave enough to be great, just like he is.
AJ versus Jake came out from Mike Coppinger. What were your thoughts when you saw that?
Yeah, it was a bit surprising. You know what I mean? It's a tall task coming from, you know what I mean, literally moving from Gervonta Davis to Anthony Joshua. So man, this is gonna be a tough fight. You know, honestly, Jake Paul is really showing his balls on this one. So you know, it's gonna be a good fight. So I mean, I'm definitely looking forward to it.
All of this builds up to a huge crash on November 22nd. This fight is a well-known sign. The volume machine Benavidez will try to walk Yarde down and hit him so hard that he passes out. This will show that his tough reality warning was accurate. The patient outsider, Yarde, will be looking for that one perfect counterpunch he promised. The one shot he thinks will show that the monster is not real. That's all for today's show. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and click that bell icon if you liked it so you don't miss our next movie. And don't forget to leave a comment with your ideas. We'll see you in the next show, so stay tuned.